What is a sword? As we know, it extends the reach of someone, but also is an extension of your personality. In Berserk, it represents the owner's dream and heart, which are maybe the last thing humans can cling to without becoming a monster. For Guts, his sword is like the only real family he has, the only light shining at the end of the tunnel, in which he can always count on. He will carry this heavy mess of a sword that only grows bigger by the time, until it shatters, and so we can say that he is more or less dragging this. I like to think that his sword is enormous because of how much humanity there is in him, but Griffith knows that it's too much. He prefers handling something more thin and swift, most likely because in this world, being human is a curse. It doesn't help you go through the sheer chaos there is to come. Griffith knows it, showing in the fight that his dream is above all. He's stepping on Guts' sword, but most importantly, he shows throughout the arc that he can do things even without fighting, his voice being his strongest weapon, in contrary to Guts, who deals with his problem only thanks to fighting and rash decisions, which even Casca points out as a problem. Speaking of Casca, swords are very important for her too. She gets freed from being a slave thanks to Griffith handing her a sword, which lets her gain her humanity back. But we can see that she is holding the sword just to follow Griffith. It's reinforced many times that she doesn't necessarily like to fight, and isn't made to. She even prefers Griffith when he isn't fighting. She took the sword, she embraced that dream. She fought armies and went through hell because of love. She even aims towards Guts with her sword when she starts to love him. Her genuine dream being someone who can finally have an intimate relationship and settle down. I like to think that Miura knew that, drawing her heart in the hilt of a sword, showing what's her true ambition. After spending a lot of time together with Griffith, Guts realizes that to have a dream and become something of himself, he must follow no one, and that doesn't sit well with Griffith. He wanted Guts, and him at the top of the world. It was his dream. Nothing had the right to break it, not even Guts himself.
He should put his heart and soul into protecting this dream, even if it means opposing me. Do you want to leave this badly? No. You're not leaving. I won't allow it. He must be my equal in every respect.
But in the end, when they do the final duel, Guts breaks Griffith's sword, shattering his heart, and most importantly, his dream. We later see what Guts' dream is, to see sparks and create his own. So this fight is the first step to show the worth of his dream, which is so pure that he doesn't even harm in the process. So this fight is the first step to show the worth of his dream, and also how Griffith's downfall starts. Later, when Griffith is back from his torture, he tries to hold a sword, being reminded of his time when he was capable of dreaming, when he could hold a sword, when he could use his speech to get out of a situation, but this time, he just can't, hallucinating about his dream, about his past self, and note that the first thing we see is a sword, which he tries to lift himself with, showing that the only thing keeping him alive right now is that specific dream. Before that, he would do anything, and anything is sacrifices. Griffith does lose his sword for good by becoming a being who doesn't need it, a god. He achieves his dream and lost his humanity at the cost of everyone, crushing the dream of all his men that swore loyalty to him, ripping away the dream of Casca who cannot face a love nor hold a sword, and destroying Guts' dream life with his newfound love. He doesn't need any kind of sword anymore, swift or heavy. It doesn't matter. He became something beyond, a god hand, Femto, shedding a tear for the last time in his final moment as a human.
Who's that? Who is that? Crying. Tears. This is the last tear. I will ever shed.
While the dead horseman gives Guts another dream, he shows him another path to take. His body shows it quite well. You have to delve into darkness to fight darkness. While we see him having a regular sword, he gets a special one later on, a sword made of Behelit, which can represent Skull Knight, willing to fight fire with fire, eating the essence of those demons to make this ultimate weapon, plunging himself into the bottomless pit of darkness, leaving most of his humanity in it to be on equal ground against the god hands. And maybe this is the only solution. It's maybe by embracing darkness, not only counting on the sword, but giving your body to darkness that can make you go through this world. That's the path our hero seems to take. The symbol of Guts, at least how we recognize him, isn't just a big sword anymore, but a terrifying armor, characterized by a demonic dog. He will still be loyal to his cause, never falling again, but he will embrace the dark if necessary, and that's maybe what we need to do. Embrace the demons of our past and move forward. That's most likely the most important lesson we can learn from Guts.